So about 2 months ago, I uploaded a video called The Problem with Cancel Culture, and that video gained quite a bit of recognition, and I asked you guys on Twitter, would you like to see another video like that? And you guys want to see another video like that, so this is going to be a part 2 to that video, so enjoy the video. Anyways, cancel culture has been one of the many problems that has plagued the internet for the past years, and this day and age has only gotten even worse. From the Call Me Carson situation, to fucking dream stands, getting offended by every little thing and try to ruin your career. And one of these problems with cancel culture is people taking sides before the person in the situation even come up with their side of the story. And this is why many of these situations with allegations are very messy, because you have people forming their own opinions and lashing on that person before they even come up with their side of the story. And it's only to find out that they were falsely accused, but their career is already in the dust now, and that's obviously a huge issue. So this video is basically going to be going over 3 different events of how cancel culture really fucked up someone's career. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The Slazo situation was something I had to look into before making this section of the video, so if I get anything wrong, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, Slazo was a rising commentary channel with almost 1 million subscribers. However, on the 10th of June of 2019, Slazo's ex-girlfriend at the time, whose name was Shay, had posted a twitlonger on Twitter called Why I Haven't Been Posting, and in the twitlonger, Shay mentioned stuff on how Slazo was very sexually abusive, manipulated her, and other stuff, also showing a bunch of screenshots to back up her claims. And from the jump, her post gained a bunch of likes and retweets, and a bunch of people took Shay's side and supported her, and a bunch of content creators began to start dropping their own videos about the situation, and Slazo's fans and friends had all turned on him, one of his good friends being Alex at the time. Keemstar would then ask Slazo's side of the story, as Slazo would tell Keemstar his side of the story. Shay would then go on to drop another twitlonger response in response to Slazo's response to Keemstar, and again, throughout all this, people were calling Slazo names and making fun of him, and supporting and taking Shay's side. Then on the 27th, in a now deleted video, Slazo would then make a video addressing his side of the story publicly, and in the video, Slazo has stated on how Shay was lying about a bunch of things in her twitlonger. In Shay's twitlonger post, she stated on how it was her first ever relationship that she was ever in, but in Slazo's response video, he said that he was suspicious that she had already been in multiple relationships already.
She also mentions later in the post that she's never been in a relationship before. This isn't the impression that I was under. I was under the impression, from these screenshots here, that she's had at least 2 boyfriends and 1 girlfriend before we ever met. So I'm not sure why she would say this, and she had more relationship experience than me when we began dating, for what it's worth.
During Slazo's and Shay's relationship, Slazo did admit that he wasn't the best boyfriend when he was 16 years old, as some of the things they said in his video, but that doesn't necessarily make him a horrible person. After all, Shay did lie in her twitlongers, and if all the things that Shay said was a lie, then why would Shay even release this if it wasn't true? What the hell was she even gain from it? Because even if Slazo did all these horrible things that she claimed that he did, she would only be popular for a short period of time. Alex, Slazo's friend at the time, would then go on to Twitter and make things so much more worse than they needed to be. In his Twitter video, Alex said that he already knew that some of the screenshots and tweets were jokes.
I want to make a statement because of the fact that obviously I came out and supported Shay when she posted her twitlonger, and obviously now Michael's video has come out where he's debunked some of the things that were put in there. First of all, I already knew that some of the screenshots that were used in Shay's twitlonger were jokes. I was very much aware of that.
However, if you already knew they were jokes, then why were you tweeting stuff like this if you knew they were jokes? When all this came out, every single person on the internet took Shay's sides and words and clowned on Slazo, and Alex did the exact same thing as everyone did. Alex had inside info that he had claimed that he had in his Twitter video, but he had left all that information out, which is pretty bad, because these are some serious allegations that can ruin someone's career, and you need to explain all the information that you already know, that being his own goddamn friend that he made dozens of videos with. They made videos as recently as 1 month before the allegations came out on Twitter. Alex had also said that Slazo had admitted to being very forceful on his girlfriend.
My problem with Michael was him admitting to doing things that he knew Shay may not have wanted to do and being incredibly forceful and almost demanding, which he admitted to doing in his video, which for me is still disgusting. I don't believe he's innocent. I don't think he's innocent at all.
When Slazo never actually admitted that. Instead, Slazo had admitted to saying this.
Next she goes on to describe our first date, where she says, "Michael on our first date touched me in a cinema, despite me never kissing someone before. I assumed this was normal, although I was uncomfortable by it and let it happen." And now this confused me when I read it at first, because it's not really how it happened. It's true that we did meet on our first date, and we did go to the cinema. That much is true, and it was very awkward. We'd only talked online before that. Neither of us really knew what we were doing too well. We went into the cinema, we had our first kiss, our teeth hit each other's, neither of us knew what we were doing, and I was willing to call it quits there, when she pulls my hand down and says to touch her, which is a pretty long way from how she portrays it in her version of this story. In fact, she was actually the one who brought up the entire idea of doing anything in the cinema. It was her idea, and I had no reason to believe she wasn't as in on this as I was, so I'm not sure why she made it look like this.
Despite Slazo taking responsibility for some of the things I used to do, Alex continued to run his mouth on Twitter, saying shit like I never accused him of anything after calling Slazo an abuser, and yet they were false rape allegations. After all the allegations were proven to be false, and after people realized that Shay had lied about everything and how Slazo responded with this side of the story, Alex began to receive a bunch of backlash for his Twitter videos. Alex would then go on and make one of the dumbest tweets I've ever seen in a while, and I have seen some pretty dumb tweets on Twitter. I don't know why I have to make this clear, but I don't want to be friends with someone that admits to being controlling of a 14-year-old girl. This is in his video. I didn't realize people had missed that. I know these people personally, it's not black and white. Now what's messed up about this tweet is when you don't know shit about the situation and read this tweet, you're gonna think that Alex is referring Slazo as a pedophile, as Alex leaves out the part that Slazo was just a 16-year-old boy at the time. And Alex did this because he just wanted to save his own ass and make Slazo look even worse. Slazo did admit to being a controlling boyfriend when he was just a 16-year-old kid, and you can criticize him for that, but Slazo moved on and was 19 years old when these allegations came out, and after apologizing for what he did and taking actual responsibility, Alex can't take that, even after the sexual abuse allegations were debunked. What Alex did was pretty messed up, and it's because he did this to his own friend. Alex would then begin to start losing a bunch of subscribers and some of his fans, and comments in his videos were filled with a bunch of people asking him to apologize and make an apology video, and I even got to the point where the YouTuber Kavos had made a whole countdown for when Alex was going to make an apology video, and Alex would actually go to apologize about a month later, except it wasn't an apology video. He would make a tweet longer about the Slazo situation. The apology was very dishonest and not a good one, and throughout the tweet longer, Alex never once said I'm sorry to his fans and Slazo. He mainly focused his attention on Keemstar and Kavos, and I wouldn't even call it an apology, more like him trying to get back at people. If you want to go hear more about the apology video, you can go watch Kavos' video about it, where he even did a whole interview with Slazo, talking about what he was doing outside the internet and how the entire situation affected him. But ever since that, Slazo has taken a break from the internet for about a year, and Slazo did explain in the interview about him taking a step back from the internet for a while, after he pretty much had the entire community clowning on him for false allegations. But this just shows how people take one person's side before letting the other person come out with their side of the story, and it fucks over the other person in the long run. But that's all to say for the Slazo situation, so let's move on. If you've been within the commentary community, you will have known and seen that T-channels have been on the rise lately. Essentially, T-channels are drama-related channels that cover drama going around the internet. They're really shitty channels since they slander different creators with misinformation and twist the stories a lot of the time. You might have seen channels like T-Spill, Anna Oop, and iNabber, but the people we're going to be focusing our attention on is Anna Oop and iNabber. To start off, iNabber is a T-channel that covers drama going around the internet, like I literally just said. And one of the topics he had covered was the Eugenia Cooney situation. Basically, Eugenia Cooney is a content creator with an eating disorder that makes fashion and makeup videos. Her channel is harmless as she just makes makeup videos, yet she still got into a bit of drama. There was a whole wave of people trying to get Eugenia Cooney deplatformed because apparently since that she has an eating disorder, it's promoting dangerous content. There is even a whole petition to get her deplatformed, which I don't understand. She is basically just existing on the platform. She can't control by the way she looks. And all these T channels and Eugenia Cooney's fans seem to think that's a bad thing that she has an eating disorder and is making videos regarding it. And iNapper has made several videos about the Eugenia Cooney situation. In his Eugenia Cooney Needs Serious Help video, he explains how Eugenia Cooney's videos are dangerous.
So in today's video, I do want to cover the issue of me believing that Eugenia's channel is genuinely dangerous for Eugenia's fans and for Eugenia and just a lot of people out there.
Now, I don't think people on the internet can help someone like Eugenia Cooney. She can only help herself. Everyone's goal was trying to get her channel removed so then she could go get help. But that really doesn't make any sense. What is getting her deplatformed gonna do? That's gonna make things probably much more worse, as YouTuber is her livelihood and her main source of income. It's not like she's gonna get deplatformed and then go get help, and she's probably already getting help right now while doing YouTube. Eugenia Cooney can only help herself and not people on the internet. Moving on to Anna Oop, a channel that I actually despise, considering the fact that she also made a very shitty music video. But anyways, about 11 months ago, Anna Oop had made a series of videos about Addison Rae being a Trump supporter, and I don't think I need to explain why this is just flat out stupid. First of all, it doesn't really matter who the hell someone supports. Just last year, the YouTuber Emma Chamberlain was exposed for being a Trump supporter, and somehow this caused a bunch of people to give her a bunch of hate for it on Twitter. And it even got to the point where Emma Chamberlain had to deactivate her Twitter just from all the hate she was getting. And Anna Oop has 2 million subscribers, and that's enough power to really get someone shitted on for no reason.
I can't believe it took this long for Addison to finally admit that she's actually a Trump supporter.
I mean, do you really not have anything better to do than make videos about someone supporting another person? I don't even think these T channels realize how stupid they sound. And people in Anna Oop's comments also realize how dumb it is to make videos about someone supporting someone else, as it really does not matter and it's not that deep. I just want to talk about these T channels and it's been on my chest for a while. But anyways, on to the final part of the video. Now, before people say, wow, you support Jellybean, just honestly be quiet for a second. If you've been keeping up in the commentary community or just the YouTube community in general, you'll have definitely heard of who Jellybean is. Jellybean is a 16-year-old PNG YouTuber who makes Minecraft Shorts videos, where they just respond to their fans' questions. Their content itself is ultimately not harmful, but Jellybean gets a ton of shit for how obnoxious she is, and the majority of the commentary community has made a bunch of videos ranting on Jellybean. Now, Jellybean gets hate because of how annoying she is, and that's not necessarily a big problem, as hate videos are a regular occurrence on YouTube. As because for me, when I watched one of Jellybean's videos, it was a bit annoying, but that's not really a big deal, although they are just a 16-year-old kid, and it's not uncommon for a 16-year-old kid to act like they have ADHD. But the thing that isn't right about this whole situation is what people try to do to Jellybean just because they don't like her. Before March of 2022, Jellybean was a faceless creator who didn't show their face. However, in March of 2022, someone ended up doxing and leaking Jellybean's face and private information on Discord. I don't know how their face and private information got leaked, but people on the internet will find ways. Obviously, this is a big problem, since that's someone's privacy getting leaked, and not to mention Jellybean is just a 16-year-old kid, and people on the internet do it for laughs because they don't like Jellybean. And when Jellybean's face had gotten leaked, she had gotten clowned on, and people were calling Jellybean ugly and Jelly mid, even though they didn't want their face leaked out in the first place for the world to see, because again, not everyone wants their face shown on the internet. And it was even getting to the point where people began sending Jellybean death threats because they didn't like her. There would then be screenshots in January of Jellybean apparently using the N-word, and a bunch of people try to use this against her, and try to use this to call Jellybean a horrible person. However, these screenshots will be proven fake, and someone had photoshopped the N-word and tried to make it seem like Jellybean was being a racist. People were even going as far out to find Jellybean's address and her family members' names.
Now, apparently, these people have gone so far as to find her actual address and her family's names. All of this because she made cringe content. Imagine doxing a 16-year-old because they made Minecraft videos you didn't like. Even if you think Jellybean is a horrible person because her fans go around spamming people, or because she apparently said the N-word. If that's what you think and believe, doxing and leaking her private information is far worse than anything Jellybean has ever done.
Some people think that the entire situation is funny and just for laughs. However, this can really mess up a 16-year-old, since they're still still a kid, getting your face leaked, getting hate on for cringe content, getting falsely accused for saying the N-word, and getting all your privacy leaked out on the internet for the world to see. And all that could put a bad reputation on Jellybean, and was even getting to the point where it pretty much was just a trend to hate on Jellybean for a while, as because making Jellybean videos guaranteed views, and that's why thousands of commentary channels had all hopped on this Jellybean trend. Obviously getting hate on the internet is normal, it's something that you cannot control, and people might just say, well, just ignore the hate, but when you're getting your privacy leaked and your family members' names leaked, that is a really big problem, and that could damage someone's mental health, let alone a 16-year-old. And there are even weirdos on Twitter of people drawing R34 art of Jellybean, a 16-year-old. Shit. As of now, Jellybean just continues to post Minecraft shorts, and all the Jellybean hate videos have slowly died down a bit, but all the hate and shit people were trying to do to her just because they found her cringe is absolutely fucking stupid. And usually when people try to defend Jellybean, they often get criticized and called a Jellybean stan. Now, you can call me all you want, you can call me a Jellybean stan, but we'll just see how things go in the future. The Jellybean situation wasn't necessarily her getting cancelled, but I thought it kinda fitted the topic of today's video kinda. But anyways, on to this gay outro. So if you made it to the end of the video, you all have already figured out why cancel culture is a huge issue. And in this day and age with overly sensitive people, it's only gotten even worse. And it's ruined and jeopardized a bunch of people's careers over the years. And people not letting both sides of the stories come out and not letting the other person speak. And that's why a bunch of people's careers get ruined, like the Slazo situation. And it's unlikely if he's ever gonna return back to YouTube after all the stuff that he had gone through. But if you guys did enjoy this video, then consider subscribing, drop a like if you want to. Go follow my Twitter at JamesLubkinYT. That's the best way to for ahead of time before I upload my videos, and go follow my Twitch where I'll start streaming over there and playing games over there while chatting with you guys. So thanks for watching, I'll see you guys in my next video, peace out.